Hi there, this is Simple Jack, and today we're going to be playing Borman in the original Military Madness. This is stage 13. User 1, that means I get to start. I'm user 1. I call the computer him. Let's see what he has. I realize the computer's not alive. He's got an Atlas in here and 2 other indirects and 2 good tanks. Down here in the lower quadrant, this is a 4-screen screen. He's got a giant Atlas Panther to move fast. He's got speed, indirects, he's got it all. This is his factory. I've never figured out a way to stop him from taking it. He's got an Atlas and an Octopus, both of which will become problematic later, but we'll deal with that later. And over here in what we get a giant, which I always like to have, and an Atlas, which I also am kind of partial to, and some good indirects. This is a pretty decent factory. Not much speed in here, just the Bison and the Lynx, but the Lynx will prove to be very important in Borman. Okay, let's go up and do the most important thing, which is how we take our men out. The Octopus goes on the bottom. The Panther goes at the 5 o'clock position. The Bison goes directly above the Panther. These are optimized so that you get the most out of your men. Now we're going to put a mule down with an Atlas in it. Not the trigger, the Atlas. Load the Atlas into the mule. Then come over here and get this Grizz. And then we are going to want the Lynx. As I said, Lynx are important in Borman. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give him his turn. I'll be right back. Okay, Simple Jack is back. And there's what he's taken out of his factory. He's got that Panther to take the center factory and the Charlie to take the northeast factory. Okay, we've got to move these guys as far as they will go. That's critical for all of them. The order we took the pieces out of the factory allows us to not overlap on ourselves, like 2 pieces fighting for the right to be more forward. Getting all of these pieces forward as quickly as possible is critical to winning. Okay, now we're going to need this trigger as quick as we can get it down there, because he has a lot of power coming at us down there. The 2 Charlies we're going to use as decoys, sacrificial Charlies later, in hopes that he won't shoot his Atlas at us. I'm going to go ahead and give him his turn. I'll be right back. Simple Jack is back again. There's what he took out of his factory. He put the Atlas in his mule, and he's got an Octopus. Both of those things will be problems. He's moving over here to attack and to take that center factory. Okay, gotta move this Panther as far as it'll go. The Bison cannot go here or here to block. It has got to go down here, okay? You do not want it here because it can take 2 hits. Also, if he parks his Rabbit or Slagger there, you won't be able to get by with your Panther. I promise you he will kill your tank, and you will lose quickly. Bring the Octopus down, and the all-important Lynx. The trigger as well, and we start moving these 2 Charlie units over to where we're going to offer them up for his Atlas. I'm going to go ahead and give him his turn. We'll come back, see what he did. Simple Jack is back again. Turn 4. He got his mule out with a trigger in it, and actually those aren't going to be the problems. The problem is going to be this Atlas and this Octopus. And of course he's about to take this factory, and as you'll recall perhaps, he has an Octopus and an Atlas in that factory. Fortunately, he'll only get to take one of them out. I'm going to start by moving my Panther towards the factory. Now see, if we'd have put the Bison up here, he'd have gotten to hit it twice with his Rabbit and Slagger. If he didn't kill it, which he probably would have, his Rabbit will go down after this Panther and kill the Panther before you can take your factory. At that point, you probably want to restart the game. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and use this so I can get it out of the way. His Slagger's already been hit, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the Rabbit. It has less defense. New Lynx aren't real powerful, usually. So this way I'm pretty sure I'll get a star. And I'll take 3 Rabbit. That's good. Okay, now I've got to get this out of the way. Now we are going to be, now that the Panthers made it through that pass, we can put the grizzly there to block, but we've got to put the bison back here again, meaning that he could be hit 2 more times. But both tanks that hit him will be hurt. We need to get our octopus here. It's a range of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It can now hit any spot that he takes his indirect fires out of there. Okay, now let's bring the Atlas down here where it needs to be. Okay, and then we got to get this trigger on the move. Otherwise the grizzly's going to be left hanging down there, because the bison will probably make it through the next turn, but may not make it through a 3rd turn. Okay, now I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and give him his turn. He's going to take that factory, and I'll be back after his turn. Okay, Simple Jack is back. He took this factory. There's what he took out. He came in and hit the bison again with a slagger. I took 2, he took 1. Probably because the grizzly is overlapping here. Okay, but I don't count much on Zoc in that way. Now we run our panther down here. He put his rabbit away. He's still moving forward. As I said, his octopus and Atlas will become a problem. We've got to kill this octopus. Well, we've got to do everything we can to kill this octopus. And we're going to, because the Atlas only left 1. I always shoot with the Atlas first, especially when it's new, because frequently you'll just wipe out whatever you shoot at, except for giants and polars, things like that. Okay, the octopus is dead. I mean, his octopus is dead. Mine has 2 stars. Okay, now we've got to get our trigger here. That's the best place for the trigger. This bison usually is beat down a little worse than this. He's done real well this time, basically because the lynx hit the rabbit hard enough to send it back to the factory. Usually I run him back for repairs, but for right now, I'm just going to get him out of the way, because we really don't need him. I'm going to bring the trigger down and put it down here, but not until I take my shot with my lynx. I don't expect a lynx to kill this, but it'll give me a star and probably send the slagger back to the factory and get it. Well, he did real well. He will send that slagger back to the factory. See, now that tempts me to take this grizzly in here and hit this, but then I have to put the trigger here, and that's not as good. So I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to put the trigger where it will work the best. Okay, now next time he's probably going to get his Atlas out. And when he does, that's when we're going to give him the opportunity to kill one of our Charlie, instead of shooting at our Atlas, because of course once the Atlas is injured it can't be repaired. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give him his turn, and then I'll be back soon. Okay, Simple Jack is back, and the only thing he's done really that matters is he's moved his octopus up, but he can't hit anything yet. He can only hit to here. Okay, and he's put his Atlas out. Okay, we want to shoot the Atlas, and I'm going to use the Atlas first. This is a new Atlas we're shooting at. About 50% of the time he'll take them all out. Sometimes he'll do less, like this. Okay, we'll hit him now with the octopus. Like I say, this guy's got to die. Okay, and now I've left 2. Remember I said the lynx were going to be real important? Okay, we've got a 2-star lynx here. We move him up, and the Atlas is dead, which needed to happen. Plus, the lynx now has a total of 4 stars, which makes for a pretty tough lynx. Starting to get tough. Now we'll go down here and get our factory. Factory captured. Wonderful job, Simple Jack. Okay, and now we're going to put the giant out front. And then we're going to be sure that we get our mule with our Atlas, because we're going to need it. I like to try and play Military Madness without losing anybody. I need speed to get my players into the game. I probably should have put the links where I just put the bison, because the links are really, really important in this. I'm going to go ahead and pick an indirect. The only things that are critical to do here are to get the atlas into the mule, get the giant out in the lead, and make sure that you can get the links up there real quick, because it's going to be real handy. Okay, and I don't have to send my Charlies down underneath the atlas as potential sacrifices. And he has no more indirects there, but he does have this atlas, which he can go 1, 2, 3, and drop right here if he chooses, or anywhere around in there, and all of this will be in his range, which is a bad thing. At which time I'll send him one. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and give him his turn, see what he does.